Hey, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Coaching from the Couch. This is your Washington Commanders update, and I'm your host, Candi CWall Waller. And as you can see, I am not here by myself. I am here with my Bowie TV colleague and the man behind the camera, Darrell Owens. The Bowie TV. So the big videos you all have been seeing, the favorite moments, the Washington Commanders are back, all of those big videos, the photos. Voila, he's a real person.
I try.
So, so listen, because Darrell is the man behind the cameras, the man behind the lens, the schedule. We finally have a schedule, Darrell.
Finally, it felt like forever. I mean, as soon as the season, and I think the first thing we said was, "All right, when the schedule come out, we got plans to make."
We got plans to make. We got plans to make. So if you are a returning Bowie television viewer, welcome back. If you are new, welcome. As you can see, we try to have a little bit of fun here, but we keep it very authentic and as real as possible. We are on site, Commanders Credential Media, and so we come often to share our exclusive insights. But since this is a big day, NFL schedule release day, it's a big day for all 32 teams. We may as well jump into it for our Commanders fan community. Let's go ahead and put up the schedule and run through it real fast. Darrell, what we got? Week 1 at Tampa.
Yeah, week 1 in Tampa. Former home of Thomas Brady, now led by Baker Mayfield. So
we got week 1 Tampa, and week 2. Who we got week 2?
New York Football Giants.
Oh, the New York Football Giants is week 2. Week 3 is Monday Night Football with the Cincinnati Bengals. Week 4, so 2 back-to-back away games. Week 4 is in Arizona. Then week 5, who we got?
The Cleveland Browns.
The Cleveland Browns at home. And then week 6, that's going to be an interesting week for Bowie TV now, isn't it? Right? Because Bowie TV also covers the Baltimore Ravens. So that is a air quotes away game at M&T Bank Stadium. Then where do we go next? The Carolina Panthers, or they come here?
Carolina comes to Washington at a 4:00 game. We didn't have a lot of 4:00 games in last year. So they set us up decently with a couple 4:00 games in this one. But 4:00 at home against the Panthers.
And then the week after that, so it's a lot of weight. So it's like home games all October. It's home games. Week 6 is technically away, again, air quotes. But then week 8 is Chicago. That is draft pick number 1 against draft pick number 2. That's Chicago at home. Then week 9 is back. Wait, the Giants come to FedEx. Week 9, Commanders go there. Week 10, Pittsburgh, the Steelers. The Terrible Towels going to be in the building, FedEx Field.
Coming to FedEx. It'll be the first time that I've had a chance to see the Steelers live. So it'll be fun to see Russell Wilson come back to his technical stomping grounds in the NFL.
The Terrible Towels will be in the building. Then that is a short week. That's a short week because then, aggressive crowds all in the same week. Week 11, Thursday Night Football up at Lincoln Financial Field. We know that primetime air be tight. It be tight in there. Airtight. Oh, gosh. And then week 12, I'm just looking now, like week 12 is the Cowboys at FedEx Field. Then week 13, the Titans at FedEx Field.
Yep, back-to-back at FedEx. They got back-to-back at FedEx.
A lot of time at home. And then week 14 is a bye. Got another late bye, you all. Another late bye. Then week 15 in New Orleans. I know many people were waiting for that one. Week 16, Eagles at FedEx Field. The Atlanta Falcons, FedEx Field again. And the last game of the season, week 18, Dallas in Dallas. All
Yes.
right. So we got to try to go through these because each one of these games and the overall, they have some like general notes, right? So we know, we already looked at it. Washington is taking on the NFC South, the AFC North. We're playing the fourth place finishers because why? The Commanders were fourth place finishers. So
Unfortunately.
that. Only 2 primetime games. 2. Week 3, Monday Night Football against the Cincinnati Bengals. Week 11, Thursday Night Football at the Eagles. Okay, opening the season on the road in Tampa Bay. And so let's see. Oh, finishing the season against a divisional opponent for the 15th straight season. Okay. Not real. I was hoping for some juicy storylines on this one. It's not real, it's not. I mean, hey, I guess when you finish fourth place, you got so much. Not, hey, what you gonna get?
Yeah, I mean it's a little tough. Also, I mean we got half of the team is different, so there's a lot of different things that are kind of transpiring on that end. So it kind of makes it a little bit difficult to build up some storylines. I think one of the biggest storylines will probably hit right at the midseason mark when Chicago comes into town. We've got the hometown
Mm-hmm.
boy. We got the hometown boy coming into number 1 versus number 2. That's probably the biggest storyline that I see in the first in the 8 weeks.
Yeah, and we're just doing initial reactions, you all. We will go through this a lot more in depth once the rosters are set right before the season, because that's kind of like how we do it. Of course, we always want to do the initial reactions, how we're feeling about it. And while you all are watching, make sure you drop your comment in the chat of how you're feeling about the overall schedule. We're going to get into the real nitty gritty of like players, position groups, coaches, and all that once the rosters are set right before the season starts, right before week 1. But now this is still just like initial reaction phase, right? So starting out, Tampa Bay, I think the notes here is what? They haven't faced off against the Bucks since. Wait, was that
It might have been the
the Taylor Heineke game? No.
might have been the Heineke playoff game. That might
Was it
have
the
been.
Heineke playoff game?
I think it might have been
When
the
Tom
last time.
Brady's veins, he was very upset. Very,
He was a little bit upset, just a little bit.
very irritated. Okay, all right. Well, hey. Wow, that was a long time ago, but not long ago.
Feels like forever ago. It was like what that was 2020, right?
I don't know.
It
Oh,
was,
so I guess it's in week 1. In week 1, this is the first time, but I think the last time they played Tampa Bay, I don't know. Maybe that's just a memorable moment. Maybe we should know that. Memorable moment when you made Tom Brady upset at FedEx Field, when you upset the GOAT. FedEx Field. That was kind of cool. Okay, then division game. Next, the following week, Washington is home. So that's the home opener, not the season opener. That's the home opener. So that means, fans, I hope you're already ready to go and raise hell up in Commanders Field, because I guess it's not called FedEx anymore.
Got to get used to that. It's always changes.
I know I just called it FedEx probably 4 times. All right. So then back on the road, Cincinnati, Monday Night Football. Okay. And it says Washington will travel to Cincinnati for the first time since 2008.
Whew.
Ooh, I remember this one when Washington played the road game against the Bengals in the 2016 London game when the game ended in a tie.
Ah, that's right. I do remember that.
Absolutely remember that one. Oh, man. I was there for that. Anyway. How disappointing was that, though? Going all the way to London.
I mean, look, to go to London for a time. I mean, you at least you got to enjoy the experience of being in London.
It was nice. It was nice. Definitely did a whole European vacation, so it was cool. Then Arizona. Then there are 2 away games. Arizona, going back to Coach Cliff Kingsbury's house. That's nice. Let's see how that goes. Then the Browns. Then the Ravens. Carolina, Chicago. And we all remember the last time Washington played Chicago.
Yeah, it did not go well. The year before then,
Mhm.
it was a when they was in Chicago, that 12-7
Oh,
masterpiece where we saw Carson Wentz get hurt, and
yes.
but they went on a
And Ron Rivera lose his mind a little bit
yeah,
and
they went
start
on like a
tossing.
baby run, and it was like, okay, this team's all right. And then last year, I remember we talked about it last year at the game, and I'm like, as soon as they announced on that big screen that Dick Buckus had passed away, I
Oh,
knew it
that
was a
that
wrap.
was
I'm
it.
not even gonna sit there and lie to you. I knew it was a wrap.
Right.
Knew it was a
Yes,
wrap.
and that was also the short week, right? That was the week
The
where
short
it
week.
was the overtime loss to the Eagles, right? Because it's
Yep,
week 4. So it was week 3 was the very dismal loss to the Buffalo Bills.
that thing was
And
ugly.
then it was the overtime loss to the Eagles came that short week Thursday night football against the Bears. And like you said, they said Dick Buckers died. We were like, okay, well.
Yeah. They just like they
And
came out with.
who kicked that? And Joey Sly kicked that, was practicing kicking that field goal, almost hit everybody in the head. We were like, okay, he's not doing well. He's not doing well. He got to
Yeah,
go back up to the press box.
yeah, not
Everybody
good,
get out
not
the
good.
way. We were like, this isn't going to go well at all.
No.
And it didn't. Let me go back to the Ravens really quick because in recent years, it feels like the Commanders were playing the Ravens in preseason.
Correct. It's been like that pretty much every year. I think the last time that they played, I remember they played Washington. I believe it was in either 2021 or 2020. They played Washington at home. Well, they played Washington at FedEx. At the time FedEx.
Mm-hmm,
And I think
mm-hmm,
Lamar had himself a day, if I'm not mistaken. But it was that
mm-hmm.
was the last time I remember them playing in the regular season.
Yeah, this has been a while. And then going to M&T Bank away.
Hmm.
That's kind of like a travel gift your way, but not. Um After Chicago, okay, week 8, week 9 at MetLife. I didn't enjoy myself at MetLife
Well,
anytime last year. Did not
the
enjoy the game.
the bad. Here's the thing, and we've talked about this on many of our rides or our road trips as we head up to these games, especially when they have to play the Giants. For whatever reason, they can't. I don't know what the Giants got over them,
Mhm.
but they just it just seems like they can't beat them.
Yeah.
So they've got to find a way to get that monkey off their back this year. The trips that we had up there were nice. I will say the shout out to the great kitchen staff there, the omelets.
Superb.
Omelets are superb.
They're superb. They are. They are.
But yeah, but that's the thing. They got to get that monkey off their back this year. They got to find a way. Just beat them once.
Yeah.
But they just can't. They got to find a way to beat them.
Right. And last season, and for those of you who are returning, you've heard me share this story before. Of course, Darrell knows this about me. If you're new to Bowie Television, the Coach from the Couch, Washington Commanders update, you all are hearing this for the first time. I give myself one game to be upset. Because you got to stay objective. You have to stay objective. I give myself, and that's upset internally, on the inside, right? Because you can't wear it. You can't wear it on your sleeve. And last year, that MetLife Giants game, week 7, I was
Heated.
on
Heated.
fire. The flames. I could feel the flames. And it was just like all I could do was sit there with my arms folded. And our colleague Donna Hopkins, if you all know Donna from Tony McGee's Football Plus, Pro Football Plus, drop in the comments. She looked over at me and she just started laughing. She said, "Everybody, look at Candi. She's so mad." And I was like, I cannot think. Like, I don't even know what I don't know what to do. Yeah. So please don't do that. Listen, all-time record against New York is 70, 107, and 5. And the Commanders are 30, 57, and 3 against the Giants on the road.
It's crazy.
That's wild.
They have not beat them. I checked it last year. I don't think they've beat them since 2000. I think
Yeah.
like the Giants have a massive. They have at least almost a double-digit lead over Washington and wins during that time frame. So it's crazy. They've got to find a way to beat them. It'd be nice to get the sweep, but
Right. I
just get
mean,
one.
Saquon isn't there anymore, but he's down the street. So, I mean, we'll
Yeah,
get to that in just a
yeah.
moment because week 10 is the terrible towels. I mean, even though I'm completely fine with this schedule, is not it's not too hard, but it's definitely not easy. I think they're right around the middle of the pack in terms of strength of schedule, like right
Mhm.
around the middle there. But they have the terrible towels week 10 at home. So, like you said, that'll be, kind of cool with Commanders Field, and then a short week at Lincoln Financial Field. And Steelers fans gonna come out.
Yeah, I was just about to say that was gonna be the next thing I said. They run
Hmm.
deep, and the towels are gonna be out there.
Oh yeah.
The atmosphere is gonna be different. So
Mhm.
Commanders fans are gonna have to step up big time and try to show their love, because the Pittsburgh will fill in. They
Oh
will
yeah.
fill in quick, and then it'll be loud in that bad boy. But it's gonna be an interesting week because of the feel. We got a whole Pennsylvania turn going on here. You got both Pennsylvania teams in one week. So that'll be interesting to see if they can go 2-0 against the teams in that week.
That will. Yes, it will be, because then right after that, the Commanders will host the Cowboys in week 12.
So Dallas coming into town, and Dallas has got a lot of issues going on right now because
Yeah.
the whole thing all season we heard they're going all in. They're going all in. A lot of fans are upset because they don't feel like they went all in, but I think maybe the fans looked at it in a different perspective. I think they meant all in as in, hey, look, this is it. We're going
Yeah.
all in with the team we have. I think a lot of people took it the wrong way that, oh, they were going to go out there and go to work. But I think this is a year. This is a very critical year for Dallas. It could be a completely different dream next year, and a chance for the
Mhm.
Commanders to maybe get a threshold, or take a little hold in the division.
Yeah, I mean, it is really, I mean, of course, Philly, right? Because Philly had still had, in my opinion, an excellent offseason. The Eagles, quiet as kept, still had a very strong draft, right? We talked about that. They had a strong draft. We had
Strong
really
drive.
haven't gotten into that in terms of division, moves and all of that. We didn't really talk a lot about that in the draft recap. And we'll discuss more of that as we get closer to the season, again, once
Right.
the active rosters are set. But it's Philly and then everybody else. And I think that's kind of where, everything is. It's like, what's Dallas going to do? Because they're all in, right? Hey, we going all in, or we blowing this thing up? How are we going to do this? The Commanders are saying, okay, recalibration. Then it's like rebuild. All right. And the Giants is still kind of like,
Giants don't know what they're doing.
I don't think they
Only,
really know.
unfortunately, only
So,
against the
yeah,
Commanders. That's it. They don't know what they're doing
exactly
unless,
right.
unless they're playing the Commanders. So it's crazy.
Right. They don't know what they're doing unless they playing the burgundy and gold. So it all comes together then. But with week 13, the Titans, that'd be an interesting matchup. That'd be a good one.
It really will be. I mean, it'll be two young quarterbacks. Will Levis
Hmm.
comes in after, being drafted last year. There was a lot of expectation that Levis was going to be at the top of the board last year. He ends
Oh
up falling into the second round, and midway through the season, they start him. He has a couple of solid games,
yeah. Hmm.
and they felt good enough that they can move on from Tannehill. And then they hooked him up. I mean, if you look at the
Yeah.
receiving core, it's not going to be light. You got
Yeah, not gonna lie.
Calvin Ridley, DeAndre Hopkins, and I'm missing another guy, but they Tyler Boyd. They picked up Tyler
Hmm.
Boyd plus their pick from a couple years ago, Traylon Burks. So on the receiving core front, if they can protect them, it'll be very intriguing to see how Levis and them can handle things against Washington in that game.
Yeah, that is going to be one that we going to keep kind of circle, because that's an interesting one right there.
It's a tweener.
We'll definitely going to talk a bit more about that as the season nears by. Week 14, first time in franchise history, the bye is the same week for 3 consecutive seasons. Landon this week 14 bye. These
I
people
don't.
are not made of steel. How did you make it to week 14? And neither are we. But anyway, anyway, I was hoping, really, I was hoping for a week 7 or 8. I was like, okay.
Yeah,
I definitely was all the way wrong. I'm like, there's no way they're gonna have a late bye again this
three
season. No
straight
way it's gonna
years.
be as late as week 14. Gotta be like week 7 or 8. I think Darrell, I might have said it's gotta be week 8, just because I was hoping it was week 8.
That I was kind of hoping the same thing. You kind of
Middle of
want
the
to
road.
you want to kind of break in the middle of the season, but
Yeah.
I mean they just They got us going strong up until like
Going
December.
strong. Be strong.
Be strong.
Everybody,
Be strong.
hold up. Make sure that athletic staff and everybody is, because that is. But listen, right? And this is for the Commanders and the team as well as the fans. You get to rest up before Week 15
That's
in
right.
New Orleans.
Yes, on the greatest day of the year. Woo!
Oh,
On the
right?
greatest
Isn't
day of
that your
the year.
birthday?
My birthday. It'll be on my
Oh
birthday.
man! So are
Second day
you?
of the
So
year.
what? We might have to talk about that later. Like, are you gonna spend your birthday doing this and do
Oh
in
yeah.
the Big Easy?
In New Orleans. Oh yeah, most
Oh
definitely.
man, y'all done heard that? Look, this is breaking news. The New Orleans. Darrell's birthday is on the New Orleans trip. Now that's some breaking news right there. Now I don't know what
Yeah.
time does the game start. Check that
I think it's
because
a 1
we
o'clock. I think it's a 1 o'clock game. So you
Ooh.
still got time to do stuff in New Orleans. So after that, I mean, you be done by 4. You got
Hey,
time.
listen. I was thinking about Saturday. No, everybody go to bed Saturday. We see y'all after the game.
Yeah, right. I'd be wide awake.
That is too funny. Then come back from New Orleans. The Eagles. We got to go through this. Got all the birds. The Eagles, the Falcons, and then close out with the Cowboys in Dallas.
That's different. I don't know when the last time they've actually, and it's probably been a while, but I feel like recently the last game has. I feel like that last game has been against Dallas in Washington. So it's a nice little
Mm-hmm.
switch up that they're going to have it, this way this time. So, you know,
Yeah, it says here the fifth. It's only the 5th time in franchise history that Washington will close the regular season at Dallas.
yeah, I don't remember seeing it happen that often. So,
Well, hey, I mean, what's your one word, Darrell, to describe how you're feeling about the schedule? What's your one word, your initial reaction?
optimistic. And I say that because this is a good chance for a young team that, well, is going to have a good mix of veterans and young players. Under the right leadership, you're going to face some teams that are rebuilding themselves or trying to figure things out. Teams like Carolina, teams like, even though Chicago went and loaded up, we still don't know what they're going to look like together. The Giants are the Giants, and if they can figure that thing out, then maybe they figure that out. But I think if you look at, even like Atlanta has Kirk Cousins now, but they're still kind of they're building. It's a young core, so they have a chance, to find a way to win some of these games that very winnable games, at least on paper. So we'll see what they'll be able to do. But I'm optimistic. That would be my one word.
Look, that's your one word. And my every time I ask myself, okay, well, what's my one word? I keep giving like, it's fine. Fine.
I'm fine.
I don't have anything. I might feel differently by the time the season comes. I mean, it was some overarching things that I'm like, okay, all the travel is at the top.
Yes, right off
Didn't
the
want
bat.
the late buy again for the third year in a row, but that is what that is. But that
It is what
early
it is.
travel and then basically being local,
Yeah.
I was like, now
I
that's interesting. I can dig it because last year's travel schedule was aggressive to me. So I was like,
yeah.
this is a lot.
Well, I think the one thing about last year's travel schedule that made it kind of like decent is like at one point we were almost like going out of town once, like flight wise, we had to go out of town like once a month, pretty much. Except for when you hit November and we had to go like I think 3 times in November. It was like
Yes.
New England, Seattle, and Dallas. This time you're getting all that right out the way out the bat. Like you're starting the season off all the heavy load and travel. Tampa, and then you got to go to.
Cincinnati was
Cincinnati,
Tampa, Cincinnati,
yeah,
Arizona.
and Arizona the furthest you go out.
Mhm.
Until the Dallas game at the end of the season. That's the next furthest that you go after that. New Orleans is middle of the country. So, and you saw the graphic you retweeted it, I believe, earlier about the Commanders don't have to travel as much this
Oh,
year. That's a good thing because we were out there running last year. So it's a good thing they don't
yeah.
have to travel as much.
Yeah, no, I think it's I definitely am feeling that. Now, from a preseason perspective, we didn't really get into preseason, right? The Jets at MetLife because the Jets and the Giants play out of the same stadium, so that's in MetLife. And then Miami, the Miami
Miami.
Dolphins at Miami,
Miami.
and then the New England Patriots at home. So and then yeah, they're getting all their travel out early, and
Yeah.
they don't have to do much October, November, and then New Orleans and Dallas in December. So
Yeah.
it'll be we'll see how that, if it even matters or plays into how well they play. So we'll see. There's a lot that can happen, of course, as you all know, from now in May on schedule release day to actually week 1 in September, you all. So we hope you all are subscribed to Bowie TV. We hope that you are following us on all platforms so you can continue to keep up with the recaps, all of Darrell's videos, photos, all of the things. We also have a ton of other television shows as well that you can get
A lot.
into as well, all kinds of information and news. So you guys listen. We have some recaps from the rookie minicamp. We have recap from day 1 of OTAs. We'll be back out in OTAs next week, and I guess the following week we'll always just post recaps. That's what.
Yeah. We be in there.
We be there. So we be there. So you all listen. Thank you so much for watching. We're going to see you guys again soon.